Welcome, Thunderbird Nation, to the Thunderbird Coaches Show. Joining me here in the studio today, we have our head football coach, Delane Fitzgerald. We've got our tight end group here. We've got Josh Acord, and we got Chase Merrell. Welcome, gentlemen. Thanks for coming to the show.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us, John.
Awesome to see you guys here. Look.
You're going to jump right into the game, aren't you?
No, we are not.
Jumping into
That's
homecoming.
not happening, no.
We got a little something we got to talk about first.
We do. Before we get...
No, we need to talk about you being absentee. Before we get to your talk, we need to talk about you being absentee.
How does this get brought up?
I've addressed it with the university, and we would like a revision of your contract, and there will be a commitment clause.
A commitment
going
clause.
Forward.
Coach. Yeah, look.
A Cabo or
I was stimulating the economy in
Cabo,
southern Baja, Mexico.
or Cedar City. I mean, make a decision.
Yeah, I know.
Get your priorities right.
I don't know. I missed the bye week by 2 weeks. It was just an oversight. So
the same one you'll make next fall.
Probably. No, I want to go and never mind. We don't need to get into my vacation schedule. That no one cares about that, but they do care about something that is kind of cool. There's we need to bring some attention to a milestone, Coach. You have achieved victory in 100 football games in your coaching career. Congratulations.
That's
good stuff. We need a clap track, dude. Come on. We need to get on the clap
track. John,
the
100. The 100 it means you didn't stink. It means you weren't awful, and that's about all it means if you're generalizing it. But here, been fortunate to have good administrations and to work with good people and a lot of good assistant coaches. And then these two young men are really good football players.
Yeah.
But they're two of about 800, I think, over the last 16 years. Sure. 800 football players that played really, really hard and listened and liked football. So the thank you. The milestone's not mine; it's theirs. So hey, guys, everybody that's played for me, thanks.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking about it. We're not gonna go very far, but I'm gonna just to say something to those out there that don't follow the profession of coaching, head coaching, stuff like that. It's not a 40-hour work week. This is a dedication like none other. There's no real, overtime. That's not really a thing in your profession. You got people talking about what you did every single week, whether it was for good or for bad. It can be time-consuming, spirit-draining. But when milestones like this are achieved, I do feel obligated to tip the cap and just pause for a second and recognize that great milestone. So congratulations, Coach, and your staff and the players and all those that helped you reach it.
Thank you.
All right, now that we got that out of the way, let's talk about this homecoming victory. The Retro Fitness game recap brought to you by Retro Fitness. It's the place in Cedar City to keep your body in tip-top shape. So go over to Retro Fitness. Get fit, stay fit. That's Retro Fitness here in Cedar City.
I'll be there tonight.
Yeah, there you go.
I'll get one in tonight. But by week, I can watch a little less film and be over there trying not to be fat.
I'll be watching Monday Night Football. So I'll probably be eating food I'm not supposed to, and then I'll probably get a gym membership at Retro Fitness and go 4 times a year, like always.
Get you on the treadmill this evening.
Yeah. I don't want to get my golf muscles messed up in the gym, dude. Come on. All right. Let's talk a little bit about Homecoming 2024. There's a lot going on homecoming week. It was great to see all the alumni, football alumni, and other sports coming into town, kind of revisiting the glory years and the glory days of SUU. Lots of activities, concerts. But at 2 o'clock, we had a little football game. Let's talk about it, Coach.
We're doing the whole homecoming or just football?
Your call, your show, Coach's show.
Marie Tuitt and her staff, the marketing and development, have done a great job of selling tickets and packing the stands.
Yeah, awesome.
For our home games, for our 3 home games thus far, done a nice job, and place was packed again on Saturday.
Yeah, Jeff Tukuafu and Danny Ferry were great They've been great to me and to the donors and those that are involved. So just quick shout out while you were going there with Marie and Doug.
Marie and Autumn have done a
Yeah.
nice job
Yep.
Of getting the stadium. Yeah, and Doug oversees all that, done a nice job there. John, my favorite part about homecoming here is John Sudbury and his crew, that alumni group that I got to visit with. I visit with them every Friday. They have an alumni reunion every Friday before a homecoming game, but it was great to see those guys. I think there was about 65 that were there. And
That's awesome.
It's graduation classes of 1960 through about 1982.
That's growing every year.
He's made it bigger every
Yeah.
year. So the first year they had 6.
Yeah.
Had 6 people. Now they're up to 65. But that's pretty cool. It's pretty cool to see those guys come back. I like to hear the stories of when they were here. I hope I'm saying the name right. Tom Kingsford Jr. In my opinion, Tom Kingsford is the second best football coach in the school's history, and they've been playing football 100 years. But it goes, Cactus Jack, Bishop, and then Tom Kingsford, and then whoever else after that. Got to meet him for the first time Friday night and hear some stories about his dad and when his dad was the head coach here, and he played for his dad here. So that was pretty cool. On to the game.
Yeah.
We're playing Eastern Kentucky, and we know it's a pretty daunting task. Eastern Kentucky is a football school. They've won 2 national titles. They've lost another 2 national titles. They have 24 conference championships in their history. So we know we're up against it for homecoming, John. Our players dialed in last week. I mean, dialed in and focused, and we had a really good week of practice. I thought it was our best Tuesday. Last Tuesday, I thought it was our best Wednesday, and then we were okay on Thursday. Came back on Friday for the walkthrough, and the focus was really, really good. Our expectation was that we were going to play well on Saturday because of how well our week had went all week.
Yeah.
It came out on Saturday, and we struck first. We scored first, faked a punt after the second possession of the game and put us in the red zone. The offense was able to cash it in, actually cashed it in twice because we scored, got it called back on a fake penalty.
What was that? We can't talk about officiating too much, but yeah, whatever. We punched it in. We finished the drive.
Just say just enough to avoid the fines. But a phantom penalty calls it back, and we still scored on the drive, so we're up 7-0. John and pretty much played from the front from there on out. I thought it was a complete team effort, offense, defense, special teams. I can talk about specifics if you want to. Our defense gives up 21 points over a 3-hour football game, so they played well, did their job. Our special teams obviously had the big fake punt, and then we kind of held them at bay on all the other special teams plays. And then, John, our offense, we run the ball. We run the ball as well or better than anybody in the country. Yeah. And then our quarterback completes 13 balls, 3 touchdowns, and those 2 big verticals he hit.
Yep.
Yeah, over the middle. It really helps open things up for the offense.
Absolutely. Let's talk a little bit about the defense. So we've been having a hard time, little slow starts on defense, right? We've been getting down 14 last 2 weeks ago, 21 zip, and then all of a sudden, like, they snapped to it and here there. But I thought they started the game really well. They played really well. I think their first 3 drives were field goals or field goal tries. They weren't, finishing in the end zone like we were. Talk a little bit about the adjustments that we made on defense. Is it any? Well, I guess you don't talk about schematics, but if is it an effort thing? Is it a pregame speech thing? How did they get ready? You said good practice, but how did they get ready to play at 2:00 on Saturday this week?
We adjusted 2-3 things in our practice schedule to get them going earlier.
Okay.
We also adjusted 2 or 3 things schematically last week to help. How do you say this? We're coaching and catering more to what we can do rather than trying to force a round peg in a square hole.
Yeah.
We're doing more of that. But John, it's the exact same. We're playing the exact same 16 to 18 players on defense each game, so it's between their ears.
Yeah.
It's where the players are mentally before the game ever starts. And I thought we were in a good place. You brought it up. Their first 3 drives, they had 3 points after 3 drives, with the exception of one of those drives being 18 plays. Mm-hmm. If we can get off the field faster on that drive, we're in a lot better shape.
Sure.
But you can't argue. At 3 drives, 3 points, you'll take that all year.
Yeah, all day. So, kudos to the defense there. You had mentioned it, so we'll talk about it. Let's just talk really briefly about Jackson Berry, quarterback. A phenomenal job, I think. You got to think that he's the starter going into the season. He plays a few games, little actually okay, but a little bit of a bumpy start. Really didn't get in the end zone a whole lot. And then Bronson Barron comes in at Austin P, becomes the starter, wins a game, and then Bronson goes down for a minute, and here's Jackson back. I love that Jackson, I go to practice a lot. I love that Jackson was very supportive of Bronson. He could have gone the opposite way and pouted and said, hey, this isn't fair, whatever. But I tip my cap to Jackson for keeping his head in it. And then here comes the new opportunity. He progressed, I thought, both the OC giving him some good throws early to get him started. But Jackson Berry looked like a new man going out there against a really tough Eastern Kentucky defense. So I just wanted to mention that, just the progression.
It's a testament to his intestinal fortitude.
Yes.
You're the starter, and then you're not the starter, and then you're the starter again. And Jackson's handled it right.
Yeah.
Jackson does 5 or 6 things on the football field really, really well.
Sure.
But one of the best one is leadership. He plays with moxie, but he's a winner and he's a leader and he's got some moxie about him out there on the football field. But Jackson and his. He's good for 13 for 20. He's going to be 13 for 20. You throw those 3 touchdowns in there, and we're going to be in really good shape with our run game.
Yeah, let's talk about what these guys did to help Jackson. They had a good game, both blocking and keeping the defense off him, and then making a few good catches. Let's talk about the performance of this tight end group.
Yeah, so Josh and Chase and they catch the wrath from me because I was a wannabe H-back in college, so I pertain to know everything about their position, so they get coached very, very hard by our staff because they hear it from me, they hear it from the O-line coach, and then Will Hall, Coach Hall is their position coach, so they're getting coached by him each day, and we ask a lot of them.
Yeah.
When they put their hand down, they're an extension of our offensive line, and they're blocking a whole lot. And then when we throw the football, most of the time, the vast majority of the time, they're out in routes, and we expect them to be as good as wide receivers in routes. So in blocking, we expect them to be an extension of our O-line. And then in throwing the ball, we expect them to be an extension of our wide receiver core. And both young men, the reason they're on the show today is they played well of late, and they're coming on.
Absolutely. I'm going to ask a couple questions about the game to you guys, and let's just talk briefly about what you guys saw out there. You guys, this is game 7, so we're just past halfway through in the season. What's it been like? Just discuss those first few games, and then what you saw that clicked at Eastern Kentucky. We'll go Chase first, and then we'll go to Josh.
We've been preparing basically every week. We watch film and all these things,
Sure.
right? And I think when it came to Eastern Kentucky, it was like, okay, there's nothing special that we haven't seen, I guess, in a way, And it was just a matter of execution. A lot of things Coach Fitz says is like, we're just going to keep going, right? And
run through their face, right?
Yeah, run through their face.
Yeah.
And when it's time to get fancy, throw the ball or whatever you want to call it,
Get fancy.
we got to execute in that aspect as well.
Sure.
And I think you got to owe it to the line mostly, owe it to Targi. I mean, he put his head down and runs the ball like always, but the skill guys as well, everyone kind of just did their job and executed. So
good. Josh, what's it like blocking for Targi and then being able to have him have so much of the defense's attention that you guys can go out and get yours too?
Yeah, it definitely helps a lot with Targi running the ball back there.
Yeah.
I mean, as long as we all do our job up front, and he's going to make us right. Sometimes it's an ugly block, but Targi he does a good job of seeing it and working off you and making you right.
Yeah, he's kind of like a good center in basketball. He can erase some mistakes up front. Mm-hmm. Like he's got incredible balance after contact, and so you can hit him, and that's not bringing him down. I mean, you got to wrap him up and bring him all the way down. It's awesome though that you guys are able to do both the offensive line work and getting after some guys, and then being able to get out and how many receptions did you have?
So I caught 3 balls, but only one of them counted. So
boo!
Yeah,
it's a really good
guys.
It was a great effort on the one that counted.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Yeah, was that up the seam? Yeah. Or
he what do you call the route? He called
over the ball.
He called a hook over the middle.
Okay,
and then he turned and had about 6 or 7
and got
yards.
some. Yeah,
a
little yak.
Yeah. With about 6 guys trying to tackle him.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, it takes 6. This guy's a beast. So, awesome. anything else you want to talk about the game from your perspective as the head coach?
Guys, y'all talk for a second. Yeah, y'all talk game.
We're gonna talk to them a bunch here in a minute.
You just want my last thoughts?
Yeah, just last thoughts on the game, and then we'll talk directly to these gentlemen, get to know them a little bit.
John, I thought it was a great team effort. I really did. I thought it was a great team effort, and we talked about Jackson, talked about these two guys. Our offensive linemen are like our O-line are like bullet drug players of the week, and I don't think there's anything ever been more deserving than those 6 guys being there because of how hard they play and Matt White coaching them and that. But a team effort. And I'm going to stop rambling. A team effort. We were good on offense. We were good on defense. We were solid on special teams.
Yeah.
John, I don't think we've hit the ceiling yet.
Yeah. It seems like the trajectory is still what we haven't.
I do believe our best football is ahead of us this fall.
That's awesome. I wanted to make a point of asking you this question before we moved on. As far as inter-team communication, it seemed like there was a clarity and no panic, and how do I put it? Like, calmness isn't quite the word I'm looking for, but even within the coaches and on the sideline, there seemed like just like a confidence, calm in all of the communications, maybe back up to the booth and down. I'm not kidding. It just seemed it wasn't so manic. Not that that's a bad thing.
I appreciate
a sideline is manic.
I appreciate that perspective, but it can only be said by someone that's not hearing what I'm saying over the headset. Ask these
that's
two.
Not for radio.
Ask these two about how calm I am on the sideline. No, you're right.
No, it just looked looked
right.
different to me,
right.
just in observation.
No, you're top to bottom, from the head coach all the way to the worst player on the team. The communication was really good this weekend.
Good.
Our communication's been really good the last week.
Awesome. We are going to go to my favorite segment now, the Visit Cedar City Student Spotlight. Come visit Cedar City. It's a beautiful place. We had a visitor. We'll shout him out at the end of the show, but Randall Magginson came out from Pennsylvania, and I said, hey man, he's like, man, this place is beautiful. We took a drive. I took him in the car. We went up to Cedar Breaks. We went to Bryan Head down to Parowan and then back. So that's a nice little loop. Man, gorgeous place in the world. Visit Cedar City and Bryan Head. Come on down and see what we got in our backyard. It's pretty special. Let's first talk to Josh. I got just like 3 questions, then we'll talk a little bit about your academics, your studies, and what you want to do with your life. But first, what's your favorite athlete growing up? Like, who did you look up to when you were in the middle school and high school and in elementary school years?
Yeah, so my team is the Chicago Bears. I just always grew up a Bears fan. My dad was a Bears fan.
Other than Braxton Jones, I'm a Minnesota Vikings fan, so that's why I'm giving you grief. But
anyways, Devin Hester, the return man, was always my favorite growing up. I wore 23 in Little League for him, and then other than him, Walter Payton. Sure. My brother is actually named after Walter Payton. So
is that right?
Yeah. So my whole family loves Walter Payton, so I look up to him a lot.
So we had a suggestion to remove Ron Burgundy for the show and put Mike Ditka in the back.
Oh yeah.
So maybe we'll look into that. I don't know. I love Ron. Ron's come on, man. Ron's the best. When Bronson was here, we weren't sure who was who with with that mustache. So anyway, awesome. So big Bears fan,
yes,
Walter Payton and Devin Hester.
Yep.
What's your go-to activity when you have just free time? I mean, you got school, you got football, you got a lot going on. But when it's just you time, what's your go-to activity?
Yeah, I just love the outdoors. I like to go on hikes. I have a gun. I like to go shooting, hunting, fishing, anything outdoors.
It's a good spot to do that.
Yeah.
Utah is beautiful that way.
Yep.
If you go to some schools and you say, I got a gun, I like to go shooting, they don't get it. Here in Utah, free people go and do their thing.
Yep.
So good for you, Josh. Yep. And then the last question I have before we talk about academics and things is, what's your best memory so far of your SUU football experience?
Oof, that's a hard one.
Is it a game? Is it a moment in practice? Is it when the coach, came in, I don't know, does what coach does? Roughs you up a little bit?
I'm going to promise you that whatever he says, I'm not included.
I'm definitely, one thing I'm gonna miss is just spending time with the guys. One of my favorite things is after the game when we chant. If we win the game, we go in the locker room and we have a big celebration. So those are some of the memories that like you're just never gonna get back.
You're bonded, right?
Yeah.
In those moments.
Exactly.
And you guys have had one vision and you got one celebration.
Yep, exactly.
That's awesome.
Yep.
Not a lot of people get to feel that in their lives, and it's special. So
for
that's
sure.
cool. So Josh Acord, tell us a little bit about what you're doing here at SUU scholastically in your academics. What are you studying, and what do you hope to pursue with that?
Okay, so I started here as a business management major, and it was kicking my butt. So I switched over to communications, and it's been a lot better for me. But after college, I want to do sales. My dad's a salesman, so I'm probably going to try to get in with him after college. And,
awesome.
And then I'm not sure exactly what I want to sell yet, but something in that department.
Something that you have a passion for. I
Yeah.
love sales. I was in that sales game for a little while. I think you do a good job too, man.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, cool. Anything that we need to know about you that we haven't gone over? Any nicknames or any special hidden talents?
So nicknames. Chase calls me Sparky.
Sparky?
Yeah.
Siwa.
Siwa is definitely the most I get called around here. It's pretty much just my name in Tongan.
Oh, okay.
So,
I was
yeah.
like,
shout out the Dirty Birds, but
shout out the Dirty
yeah.
Birds.
So Siwa, and then hidden talents. I'm really good at roller skating. Love to go roller skating.
See, we would have never known that had we
Yeah.
not had the coaches show.
Yep. So
That's cool.
Where's the closest roller skating rink to here?
St. George, I believe.
St.
but-
George.
I have
Yeah.
no idea. One last little tidbit. You were the first recruit of the Delane Fitzgerald era. Is that correct, Coach?
First commitment.
First commitment. There you go.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, first commitment. Remember it like it was yesterday. Bring him down on a visit, and at the end of the visit, he said, "Coach, I want to be here."
Cool.
Yes, sir.
That's good stuff.
Yes, sir.
Nice and decisive.
He, since that day, there's been at least a dozen times he regretted that decision.
Yeah, each day. Thank you for being here. It's awesome to get to know you a little better. Let's move on to Chase. Chase Merrell. Oh, wait, sorry. Before we go, what's hometown?
North Salt Lake, Utah.
North Salt Lake. And you
Yep.
played at Woods Cross. And
I started at Woods Cross, played there until my junior year, and then
Okay.
I transferred to Northridge for my senior
okay,
year.
got it. Okay, cool. We got to give a shout out to the hometowns.
For sure, for sure.
Chase, my man. Chase Merrell out of Afton, Wyoming. Is that
Yep.
correct?
Yes, sir.
Man.
Small town.
Small, and everybody knows you. That's the kind of town that you say one name and like, oh, that's my cousin or
Yeah.
whatever. Very cool. Same questions. We're going to go those 3 questions, and we'll talk about kind of the academics, and then maybe highlight a special moment coming up in your life. We've got who did you who was your favorite athlete growing up?
I wouldn't say I have a specific team or athlete that I really followed. You can even ask Josh. I never really was a kid that wanted to watch sports. I mean, growing up in a small town, it was like any free time I was usually up in the mountains,
Yeah.
dirt biking, snowmobiling, anything but playing the sport. And then when it was sport, I was locked in playing the sport, just trying to keep active. And so I never really watched sports, didn't have TV either growing up really. So
Would
that
you
was
guys just like pantomime in the corner, like what? Or you were just out doing your thing?
just out doing my thing, doing
All right.
whatever.
But it gets cold there, dude. Like so, snowmobiling, All right, okay.
snowboarding,
All right.
whatever you need. There's warm gear nowadays. Come
A
on now.
beautiful part of the country that you're
Yep.
from,
Yes,
but
indeed.
cold as hell.
Yep.
Yeah.
He just heard all of Wyoming's tourism and influx of people. Hey, we didn't have TVs growing up. We just killed it.
Hey, when you go to Wyoming, where he's from, you look around and go, yeah, you don't need a TV. You got
That's
the
true, that's
Tetons
true.
going. And
Fishing, hunting.
Yeah,
you
beautiful
don't need
place.
much else.
All right, well, okay, all the athletes are disappointed, but let's go to your activity. You're a hunter, mountain guy? What do you do in your free time?
Just about that. Recently, like anything I can do is, I mean, last night was up in Pine Valley. I don't know
yeah.
if you've even been there. That's a
Oh,
miniature
yeah.
Star Valley. If you what'd you call it?
Yes.
Just was glassing some deer, looking at some deer the other night with my fiance, and so that was a good time. Just anything to get outside, camping, fishing, whatever
Cool.
you want to call it.
This is literally like a Visit Cedar City, Brian Head like commercial, and I didn't even like prompt these kids. This is great. And then what about your best memory so far of SUU football? The football side.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah.
Which is most of the memories. There's not much time for anything
Yeah,
else.
right.
Really,
No,
if
you guys
if
go at it
consider
a lot.
So,
Yeah.
For me, I wouldn't say one specific memory, but I would say the off season, especially during like summertime, fall camp. I think I think that's something that's always going to be ingrained in my brain. The amount of work that we put in, you're able to see it now. You're able to see it pay off, and I think that it's not one specific moment that just snaps like, oh, that was the best moment ever. It's a span of memories that are created that really make you remember it.
It's like you guys basically prepare 8-9 months out of the year for 12 games.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So there's a lot of blood, sweat, tears, sacrifice that goes in when you're not playing on Saturdays.
Yes,
so that you can play on Saturdays. It's pretty cool. Well, awesome. Let's talk about your academics. What's your major here at SUU, and what do you plan to do with it?
So I got a major in biology and then a minor in Spanish and business as well. My major in biology, I'm going into pre-dental. That's the plan as of right now. And then I've just always enjoyed the aspect of business. And then my Spanish minor, I served a mission in Chile, and so I only had to take 2 classes. So
Viva Chile.
Yeah, así es.
Very cool. Awesome. You've got an interesting week ahead of you.
Yes, indeed.
Tell the people. Tell the people what's going on in your life
I'd
this
say
weekend.
Fitz thinks it's a little more of a not interesting. More.
No,
of
it's interesting. It's interesting.
I'm trying.
We don't care what
trying
Fitz
not
says.
to look or say anything or whatever. She is a coach's daughter.
Yes,
That's
indeed.
true.
That at least makes it semi-acceptable.
That's right. I'm a happy man getting married this Saturday, so we're super stoked. It's been trying to stay dialed when football's football. He'll be in my ear every time walking past as we're stretching in the morning, saying, "Hey, what are you doing, man? Where are you at?" But no, we're focused, and then I'm super excited though. This Saturday is going to be something.
Who's the
especially
lucky
during the bye
lady?
week. Brooklyn Hosner. So if you
Brooklyn
know
Hosner.
Coach Hosner down in Pine Valley,
Ray Hosner.
Ray Hosner.
Yeah,
Yep.
down at Pineview.
Yep, down in Pineville, down in St. George, and then his wife Carrie Hosner, but the sweet little daughter Brooklyn Hosner. That's the one
Ray
I'll
was
be marrying.
also a T-Bird.
Yes,
he
he
not?
was.
He was.
Yeah. I mean, that's a good bloodline right there, dude.
Yep.
We got
You
future T-Birds that are coming.
You do have 5 days to think about this.
Hey, no need to think.
got
We're
5
already
days to think
dialed.
about
Come on now.
She does too, Coach.
Yeah,
so we
got
better.
5
That's probably
days.
the better question. That's probably the better question.
Oh man.
He
Well,
did- hey.
congratulations, dude.
He did make the ultimate fiance statement. He said he called her sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah. 10 years from now, we'll have this conversation again.
I'm gonna be saying something even better.
Yeah. I'm 25 years in. My wife is. And you know this.
You got lucky.
I see.
Yeah.
Marriage for me
Oh,
was a
she's-
good thing. I was like pushed into it, and they're like, "Hey, no, you need Shannon to keep you straight." So
indeed.
He calls.
you good.
He calls. We're up to no good, and we're
Yeah.
not getting anything accomplished. And he calls her to ask, "Can he stay out another half the day?" And she's so nice.
Yeah. She's like, "Sure,
like-
whatever."
You do you.
Yeah, you do you. Get out of my hair. I got work to do. Stay.
Sure.
Yeah, when I'm not at home, I'm not
second-
making messes.
Second straight week. Shout out to Shannon.
Yeah, she's awesome. Well, good for you.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
that's
We're excited.
Congratulations.
Yeah,
you,
excited
Coach.
for you. All right, that was the Visit Cedar City Student Spotlight. Josh Acord and Chase Merrell, thanks for being here, guys. We're going to go now to the Warehouse Bar Plus Kitchen preview. The Warehouse Bar Plus Kitchen here in Cedar City, great food, cold drinks. A great place to go when you need something to bite or you need to get your drink on. 21 plus over there at Warehouse Bar Plus Kitchen, and they would love to see you over there. So go see the crew there at Warehouse Bar Plus Kitchen. Coach, we got bye week.
Yes, sir.
We can obviously there's stuff that is done on the bye week.
We talked about the wins.
Yeah.
In my career, I've never lost a game on bye week.
Undefeated. Yeah, that's a good stat.
Yeah.
Let's make sure it stays that way. So all the guys out there, don't get into trouble. Spend your time wisely. Rest up.
They get that speech every single week.
Oh, I'm sure of it.
Every week.
I'm sure of it. Tell us a little bit of we got 3 or 4 minutes left. Tell us a little bit about what goes on the bye week. What's it look like, and how do you prepare?
So it's a balancing act by the coaching staff and especially the assistant coaches on keeping the guys sharp but coming off of them a little bit, John. So instead of us doing football 6 days this week, we'll do football 3 days. And the 3 days are pretty intense, and it's fast paced and all, but then they've got some downtime, and they're going to get 4 days off. They're going to get 4 days off, but we will introduce West Georgia to the players. We met this morning and kind of put Eastern Kentucky in a rearview mirror. We'll introduce West Georgia this afternoon in meetings and practice, and get through that, and really just get their minds moved forward to the next team on our schedule. We'll lift this week just like we always do, but the practice gets cut in half as far as the days. John, if you're ever going to add a wrinkle as a college football team, this is a week you add a wrinkle. So we'll add some things offense, defense. We'll add some things on special teams. John, we've got to improve on special teams. Got to play a little harder, play a little faster, execute a little better on teams. So we'll work some of that this week, and there will also be a return to basics. So we'll go back to our base stuff and try to be better at that stuff also. Yeah,
remember who you are. Get back to the basics. I like that.
Me remembering who I am is real easy. Let's just line up in 21 personnel and run power.
Power.
Doesn't take a whole lot.
You mentioned earlier our best football is still ahead of us this season, and I noticed the concerted effort with special teams last week. You got the fake punt. Punt coverage, kickoff coverage was good, and I thought they improved from the week before, and that's all you can ask, right? It's just constant 1% better. I just think the bye week's a good time to rest the bodies, rest the minds, and then get fresh at it for the University of West Georgia Wolves.
That's what you said is exactly right. Get some physical and mental rest.
Yeah.
Get some R&R that way, but you can't go rusty.
Yeah, gotcha. It's time. It's the last minute of the show. We got time for shout-outs, Coach. Why don't we start with the players, and then you can get your shout-outs in.
Let's do it.
Let's go Chase first, then Josh.
Biggest shout-out for me goes Brooklyn Hosner.
Hey, Brooklyn. Holla.
Yep. No.
Brooklyn Hosner for now.
Yeah, soon to be Merrell.
That's right.
Soon to be Merrell. No, but family. It's always going to be family first, and I consider the boys out there on the field, the coaches, my family as well. Coach Young, my high school coach, that's someone still to this day. He'll send me messages, text me. He pulled up to the ISU game, so that was good to see him.
Cool.
And I'll always love Coach Young and Coach Kabonic that showed up too, and all those high school coaches. So
fantastic. Josh.
Yeah, shout out my mom and my dad, Travis and Delphine, and then my siblings, Madison and Peyton. My high school coaches, Coach Fresquez, and then especially Coach Ivan Lofton, like a brother to me, really helped me to get where I am today. And then obviously my brothers, my coaches, just working hard every day, and that's family.
Fantastic. Coach.
You want to shout out mom and dad?
Yes, sir. Always family, of course, mom and dad. Chuck and Holly Merrill, that's the second, and then my mom, Ginger Merrill, as well. So
fantastic.
Yep.
Great.
Love that family.
Ginger's great. Chase was serving his church mission, and she was emailing once a month, making sure that baby boy was taken care of when he got home.
Mama's boy, I guess.
That's what mamas do.
Yeah, big shout out to Ginger. John, both these guys said it, and they talked about the brotherhood within our football team, and those Nike commercials over the years were kind of nonsense. You'll soon forget the practices, but you'll always remember the games. Some of the pro athletes say that nonsense too, and you remember it all. It's all kind of blended in, but the locker room after victories is a special place, and on the practice field, and Chase brought up preseason camp, on the practice field in August when all you're doing is football. You're not thinking about family or family problems, and you're not thinking about academics, and you're just dialed in on football. Pretty special times, and I think true football players and coaches remember it all kind of equally, but they brought it up. But the brotherhood in football is really, really special.
Yep.
On that note, in the shout out, Randall Megginson is here from you said it, from Pennsylvania by way of Gladstone, Virginia, Nelson County, Virginia. But yeah, Randall and I grew up together and played football and basketball together. But it's been great having him here for the last couple of days. I got to watch how I say this because you offend other people, but he brought me some Nelson County sneakers, but I've got some green and gold sneakers that say Coach Fitz that are custom made. That he
they
brought
are
me.
sweet.
They are
too.
pretty sweet.
Yeah,
they are pretty sweet. I don't know how I'm going to get away with wearing green and gold around on campus, but I'll find a way. Yeah, those of y'all out there that don't know where I come from, my high school had the same colors as the Green Bay Packers. Even had the G on the helmet because instead of the G for Green Bay, it was G for Governors, the Nelson County Governors. But anyway, no, really appreciate the president, but more than that, just appreciate spending time with Randy. It was cool.
Great guy.
And then Tony Whitecrow, was here, and a good friend of mine. He's the all-time interceptions leader at Frostburg State. He also played baseball at Frostburg State, but having Tony out here was really, really cool, and a good friend over the last decade, and loyal Thunderbird fan, watches this show every week.
Every
watches our
week.
Games. Yeah,
that's right.
But no, shout out to him.
Did
Tony.
you teach him what a cedar tree looks like, though?
Ooh, we're going to get into that. We're going to get into that. We do need to do Cedar City history one time.
Yeah,
though.
we do.
Yeah.
I'll do a bit.
Yeah, the back and forth all weekend was whether there's cedar trees in Cedar City or whether
juniper trees.
They're all juniper trees, and the Pioneers just misdiagnosed it. But anyway, hey, the jury is still out.
Yeah, well, okay, whatever you say.
But shout out to Tony.
Yeah,
and
guy.
having Tony here, and shout out to Randall.
Awesome. With your permission, I got one quick shout out. Former T-Bird coach. He was 0-18. He was a 27-point dog against Weber State, and they pulled out their first victory.
Yeah, you don't have
17.
to talk about the offer. Yeah, huge.
Ed Lamb
huge
got the monkey off his back last week against a good Weber, and anybody that beats Weber State is a friend of mine. So shout out Ed Lamb and his crew.
The best, and it's a former SUU player, I think, that said it, but the best Twitter post all weekend was, whether at SUU or Northern Colorado, Ed Lamb owns Weber State. And I went, wow.
Well, look, there hasn't been a whole lot to cheer about up there at Northern Colorado, but they got one, and it takes that first one to let the dam break. But.
Yeah, Coach Lamb and Coach Aaron Fernandez.
That's right.
Big congrats.
Yeah, shout out. That's it. That's all I got, Coach. So for Chase Merrill, Josh Acord, and Coach Delane Fitzgerald, I'm Jon Smith signing off. Go T-Birds.
Go Thunderbirds.
Go Birds.
Go Birds, baby.